Good morning, Partners Coalition. We are so happy you've taken the time to tune in with us today. I'm Sarah Combs, and I'm the CEO of the University Area CDC. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2021 second quarter Virtual Partners Coalition gathering. I hope you're ready to hear about some exciting initiatives happening in the University Area community, as well as to continue our open dialogue regarding real issues our community currently facing. If you're joining this group for the first time today, we're so happy to have you. Just to give you a brief introduction, the UACDC Partners Coalition is made up of businesses, organizations, and individuals who have a vested interest in the university area and a mission to improve it. We work together to empower and grow this community while celebrating each other and our formed partnerships in the process. More information about our group's objectives, as well as a membership directory, can be found at uacdc.org/Partners Coalition. And if you and your organization are not listed but you'd like to be, just click the Join Us button on that page and enter your information. I'd also like to invite everyone watching to type in your name and your organization in the chat box so we can see who's out there today. As always, I'd like to thank our amazing UACDC staff and board of directors for their support. And I want to give a huge shout out to our 2021 Partners Coalition sponsors, which now include ACES Group, the Simply Healthcare Foundation, and USAA. Thank you for standing with us. Thank you for believing us. And thank you for seeing the growth opportunity in this community in a group like the Partners Coalition. Lastly, I urge you to get on your social media platforms and share the information distributed in today's gathering using hashtag UACDC Partners Coalition when doing so. And if you aren't already doing so, please make sure to follow us at UNIV Area CDC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to stay in the know about everything we have going on. Now, I'm so happy to introduce Mr. Maxon Victor, who will serve as the host for today's gathering. We consider Maxon to be an honorary UACDC staff member, as he has served in numerous internal roles and partnerships with us over the years. Currently, he is the program director with the National Youth Advocate Program, whose Tampa's office is located in our Front Park Annex, and which you will hear a little more about in today's gathering. Take it away, Maxon.
Thank you, Sarah, and it's my pleasure to be here with all of you today. If you haven't had the opportunity to view one of the recent Virtual Partners Coalition gatherings, they are made up of 3 segments, which are community investment, focusing forward, and small business equals big impact. Our first presentation, centered on community investment in the Uptown University area, focuses on Uptown Sky, a new multi-family development soon to be built at the corner of 12th Street and Fletcher Avenue. For this segment, we once again have Sarah Combs, Executive Director of UACDC, and Shawn Wilson, President of Blue Sky Communities. So let's take a look at this exciting community investment presentation.
We're standing in the heart of the University Area community at 12th and Fletcher, where we will be breaking ground in just a few short months to build Uptown Sky, a multifamily development for 61 families. As Maxon said, I am here with my good friend and partner, Shawn Wilson, who is president of Blue Sky Communities. University Area CDC was so fortunate to find a partner like Shawn, who is just as passionate as we are about building quality, attainable housing for residents here in this community. Shawn, why don't you go ahead and share with the coalition what we are working to accomplish here on the site today?
Good morning, Sarah. It's a pleasure to be here with you on this important community development. To be working together is great. Uptown Sky is going to be a brand new 4-story apartment building right out on Fletcher with a Hart bus stop right at the property, close to lots of stores and services that residents can actually walk to. All the apartment homes will be for rent for hardworking families that make less than about $50,000 a year total household income. All the units will have either 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms, fully equipped kitchen, plenty of closet space, very livable for the families that UACDC serves. In addition, we're also proud to offer a swimming pool, on-site property management, and a unique food truck area that's going to add a lot of pizzazz. And to top it all off, UACDC is going to have a neighborhood center right on the ground floor that's going to serve as a resource hub for neighborhood residents.
That's right, Shawn. The neighborhood center makes this development even more special, as UACDC will be able to offer our programs and services to residents right on the bottom floor of the apartment complex. We will have a multi-purpose classroom, a computer lab, several offices where our Prodigy Cultural Arts program, Get Moving program that you know and love, Invest Workforce, and Steps for Success programming will take place, among a whole lot more activities. What we learned through intense community conversation and engagement was that residents want services to meet them where they are in the community, which is why University Area CDC is changing our service delivery model to bring programs and services directly to the community, starting with Uptown Sky. Just imagine having access to classes like art, dance, yoga, karate, workforce training, swimming lessons, and computer training, just an elevator ride away.
It's definitely going to be one of Blue Sky's best developments ever. And every development that we do it benefits from a lot of government support, especially here in Hillsborough County. Hillsborough County has really embraced affordable housing as a catalyst for upward mobility for hardworking families and as a solution for neighborhood stability. Truist Bank and Raymond James also committed funding to provide the balance that we needed to make Uptown Sky a reality.
University Area CDC is just so incredibly thankful for all the partners and stakeholders that helped to make this development possible. If you would like to learn more about the development, please visit our website at uptown-sky.com, where you can see our floor plan layouts and sign up for notifications of when we will begin accepting applications.
Thank you all so much for learning more about the community investments happening in the university area. Please be sure to join Sarah and UACDC on July 22nd at their next Partners Coalition gathering, where they will share with you the plans for a brand new cultural campus development right across the street from Harvest Hope Park. It is Blue Sky's pleasure and my personal pleasure to be a partner in this meaningful work of community equity and investment, as I truly believe that together we're so much stronger.
Thanks, Sarah and Shawn. The need for safe, quality, attainable housing in the university area is nothing new, but developments like Uptown Sky put us one step closer to meeting that need. It's exciting to see the cultivation of partnerships and diversified funding sources come together to bring projects like Uptown Sky to life. And these type of developments also play a big role in attaining needed infrastructure improvements in the community, some of which we covered in the first quarter Partners Coalition gathering. We look forward to watching this project over the next several months and encourage you to visit uptown-sky.com for updates as things progress. Now let's roll right along to our Focusing Forward segment. During the last gathering, we featured a panel discussion centered on equality, equity, justice, and policy. For today's conversation, we focus on the topic of juvenile and criminal justice. And as with each quarter's panel discussion, this topic was determined from a community conversation that was held in partnership with Safe and Sound Hillsborough. That conversation established topics specific to Uptown University area, which would be beneficial for Partners Coalition members to hear further dialogue on. For each panel discussion, key stakeholders are identified to discuss real concerns, opportunities, and initiatives based on the given topic. For today's conversation, Mr. Freddy Barton, Executive Director of Safe and Sound Hillsborough, will once again serve as the group's moderator, and panelists include Andrew Warren, State Attorney for Florida's 13th Judicial Circuit, Hillsborough County, Commissioner Gwen Myers, Hillsborough County Board of Commissioners for District 3, Julianne Holt, Public Defender for Florida's 13th Judicial Circuit, Hillsborough County, Mike Trepper, Prodigy Director for University Area CDC, and Desmond Roman, Community Youth. Ladies and gentlemen, our Focusing Forward panel conversation.
So thank you everyone for being here. We're here to talk about juvenile justice and our criminal justice system. So we're just going to have an open conversation, but first we want to let the people that are viewing this to know exactly who we have here at the table. So if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, the office that you represent or the agency that you're a part of, and then your experience working in or around the university area. We'll first start with our county commissioner.
And thank you so much, Mr. Barton. I'm Gwen Myers, County Commissioner for District 3. I'm Tampa native, and my experience working out in the university area started back in the early 90s. I can remember when the hippie, as I will call him, Victor Chris, brought 2 busloads of citizens downtown to a public meeting in order for them to begin to receive services out in the USF area. And back then it was called Suitcase City. And today I was out there on a tour, and it's now called Uptown, the community area. And so I'm pleased to see all of the affordable housing. I can remember when I was contract manager when they built the CDC out there. And also every time I make a trip back in that area, I'm very pleased to see the improvement. And there's more improvements that's needed in the social services that continue to come in that area. And I'm thankful to be a county commissioner to look at the area that is in District 3 and continue to bring in jobs. That was one of the things we were talking about in that area this morning, and a studio that is being there.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
State Attorney.
I'm Andrew Warren. I'm the state attorney here in Hillsborough County. Mr. Barton, thanks for hosting the roundtable today. We have in the state attorney's office a couple of different experiences with the university area. We have cases that arise out of arrests in that area, and we also do a lot of work with prevention programs in the area as well, working with the UACDC. We know it's an opportunity for our community to invest in kids there, to make sure that people have options to keep their hands busy so that they don't get involved in the criminal justice system. So it's a really important piece of the Tampa community that ends up influencing what we do in the state attorney's office on a daily basis.
Very good. Thank you. Ms. Holt.
Well, good afternoon. Julianne Holt, and I'm the public defender here in Hillsborough County and have been for 28 and a half years. It's been a wonderful experience. I'm going to do a shout out first because my experience was I graduated from the University of South Florida. So, and that's when there was like nothing out there. As Commissioner Myers said, Victor Chris, when he was not only in the legislature but on the commission, he made it a point to make sure that local leaders here went out to that area, saw what was going on in the area. The wonderful center that he brought to the youth there in that particular community. And as Mr. Warren says, we represent individuals quite often that come from that area. And we also saw that there was a tremendous need for our youth and really for the members of that community to really find people who would champion them. So I give a big shout out to Victor Chris and a big shout out to Mark Sharp, who have really stayed committed to bringing improvements to that area. So I think it's a wonderful thing that we see going on. Working with Sarah Combs through the Safe and Sound Hillsborough has been wonderful. The things that we've done at Mort Elementary and the fact that we brought a Boys and Girls Club to the Temple Terrace area that again services the youth that are at most need I think those are the highlights that I remember during the last 28 years.
Very good. Thank you. We have a young person with us today. So Desmond.
I'm Desmond Roman, former Prodigy youth. I participated in a lot of university area-based projects and projects with Prodigy in and of itself. They've watched me grow, took me out of a neighborhood where people tend to get stuck, and so I'm really grateful for that.
Thank you. Mike?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Trepper. I'm the Director of Prodigy Cultural Arts at the University Area CDC. I've been doing youth and community development work for over 25 years in the Bay Area, and the last 6 years spending in the university area as a director of Prodigy. And my experience has been seeing, not only UACDC grow and the university area grow just for the last 6 years, but also over that 25-year period. And as Commissioner Myers mentioned, doing a lot of partnerships and really creating the systems and really creating avenues for young people to grow and thrive. And so I'm excited to be here and have this conversation today.
Very good. Welcome, everyone. And now we're going to get started. So today's forum is all about criminal justice, juvenile justice, our systems, our policies, and those who are most impacted and affected. Commissioner Myers, as a newly elected county commissioner in District 3, where do you see is the greatest opportunity for Hillsborough County to address criminal justice and juvenile justice as a whole?
I see that at community forums, community engagement meetings. One of the things that I would like to see, and I think I just mentioned it to you, Freddy, where we can get together with our teenagers, the young people in middle school, and begin to talk to them about the juvenile justice system so they would understand the process. And this has been weighing on my mind because of the team summit I had, and I think all of you all were there in 2019, always looking out for an interest for our youth and how we can make them better. And if they know about our system, to keep them from getting in trouble, I think we can prevent a lot of them from getting in trouble if they know that we have a system in place, the evening reporting center.
Right.
But we don't want them to go there. We want to be preventive, to tell them about everything early on, and their parents, to keep them out of trouble.
Absolutely. And if they do get in trouble, whether they're youth or adults, our public defender is responsible for not just representing those individuals, but also helping to fill in the gaps of service. So, Mrs. Holt, where do you see are still gaps in our juvenile or adult criminal justice systems?
Well, I think the very first thing that we have to do here in Hillsborough County, and I'm gonna just stay focused on Hillsborough County, I think we have to strengthen the partnership we have with the Hillsborough County school system, because I think that there's a lot of opportunity in the school system to start educating our youth early on so that they understand about the juvenile justice system, so that they understand that certain behavior will result in criminal charges. And the reason that I say starting early, it's because, you know, if you have a child that is 7, 8, 9 years old that is actually being taken into custody and put into a juvenile justice system, not by Mr. Warren, but there are other places where that happens, you know, I think that's a huge red flag that we have. So I would start there, strengthening that partnership. The other thing I think that we need to do is recognize just how important mental health and mental well-being is. And although we have done a lot of tremendous good work within the system itself, I think we have to go outside of the system and again use our partnerships to ensure that our children have good, productive, healthy lives.
Right.
And in doing that, that then will lead to a better improvement and a better development for their life. If I had to add a third part of life, I think it's a serious understanding by our legislators and by people who are responsible for creating laws just how much of an impact law violations can have on someone's life and how hard it is to recover from that. Because there's one thing about being tough on crime, and that is something that we've heard for a long time. But the reality of it is that there is a lot of non-violent, non-serious types of matters that I think most of us would agree when we were growing up would not have taken us into the juvenile system, would not have taken us into the adult system. And I think we need to go back to that thought process and keep in mind that behavior can be modified. It doesn't have to be criminalized.
Awesome. State Attorney, when we look at data, we see that there are disparities, ethnic and racial disparities within our, and right now we'll focus on the adult criminal justice system. We see and know that there are disparities there. What is your office doing to address the fact that we have racial and ethnic disparities within our criminal justice system?
Well, we're starting by looking inwards. I mean, one of the big problems with the criminal justice system, among many, is that it hasn't done a good job of actually tracking data. For the most part, people view their jobs in roles of prosecution as you charge, you prosecute, and then you pat yourselves on the back and say, job well done, without thinking about the larger systemic issues involved, whether it's involving juveniles, or it's the criminalization of poverty, or it's mental health, or it's diversion programs. What we've tried to do is actually analyze the data that we have. It starts with compiling data and then looking at it to evaluate things that work and don't work, to identify racial disparities where they exist, to figure out how to fix those disparities. And again, the problem is when you don't track the data in the first place, it makes it really hard to identify those shortcomings. You can't fix what you can't see, and we see things systemically in the system through data. That's why it's so important that our office has taken these steps to actually start compiling data and really looking at it in that thorough manner.
Awesome. One of the strategies to reduce violence is making sure that we address quality of life. Commissioner Myers, you recently have been working on several initiatives to improve the quality of life of residents so that they don't enter into the adult criminal justice system. Can you let us know about that, specifically the apprenticeship and job training efforts that you've tried to launch?
Well, that is the very key, is helping them to find a job. And I'm pleased to say that the Board of County Commissioners just approved an apprenticeship program for individuals of the ages of 18 to 24 years old. We know that many of our students don't go off to college, but they stay home and they're looking for a job. And hearing some of them when I was campaigning, I need a job, and it was just asked, what do you do? Well, I don't know, whatever. But we made it real simple, not construction, but if they're in the field of IT, healthcare, finance, or any other non-construction job, they can go and partner with Career Source Carissos of Tampa Bay. We have the apprenticeship program for 100 individuals who are looking for a job. The good part of this is they will be paid $15 an hour. They will earn while they learn, an 8 to 12 week program. And so I want as many youth, or young adults I should say, to apply for this skill because it can be a career path for them for a sustainable job long term.
Awesome. So finding the gaps, working with data and analyzing the data to move forward, and making sure we address quality of life. These are several key strategies to making sure that people don't go further down the criminal justice path or criminal justice system. Thank you guys. We'll go to our second round now. So Desmond, now I want to shift the conversation towards youth in particular.
Okay.
So you're a young person that has lived in the university area, and you've seen youth not get in trouble, and then some youth actually go into the juvenile justice system. What do you think is probably the one thing that stands out? Why do you think youth go down that path, make some choices, negative choices, and what do you think they can do, and what do you think needs to happen in the university area so that they don't go down that path?
Well, I think it's, for one, a matter of environment, because living in that environment, one thing my mother always told me, it's not where you live, it's how you live. And that being said, our household was very structured, very respectful, no matter the environment that we were in. And not only that, it's that since they're youth, so their minds are impressionable to things they see. And if they see things that stimulate their minds to want to be that which they're seeing, then they're going to want to imitate those things. So if we're going to prevent them from going down this wrong path, then we need to appeal to them and stimulate their minds in a way that they see something positive and want to get involved in that.
Right. Mike, you've worked with the Prodigy program for several years, and you've seen all types of youth that come through, right? Some which are involved in the juvenile justice system, some not. But what's the common thread, and what do you think is still needed? And for those individuals who don't know about Prodigy, how is Prodigy helping to keep youth on the right track?
Well, sure, and for 20 years, Prodigy is a 20-year-old program, been transforming lives for 20 years and through the cultural arts. And so it's not just arts for art's sake, but really infusing life skills, infused arts. So teaching young people about communication skills, anger management, team building, leadership development, providing mentors through art instructors to provide really a safe place for young people to go. And doing that in a free sense, so there's no barriers, there's not an economic barrier. And so the young people that come through our doors are really seeking belonging, they're seeking mentorship, they're seeking a positive place where they can be themselves. Young people, all the systems that they're involved with oftentimes are telling young people, don't be yourself. There's so many things that young people, so many barriers that they have to go. So it's very stressful, believe it or not. So programs like Prodigy and other youth development or out of school time programs who do a good job of really providing a space where young people can be themselves, so they're open to all the things that we would like to share with them, skill building, connections, career development, looking towards the future. But if there's so many barriers in front of them, it's gonna be hard for them to see. And so Prodigy has been doing that really good job. DJJ tells us 100% of the kids while enrolled in Prodigy do not get in trouble with the law. 99% of them are still trouble-free after completing the program 12 months later. So we're looking at the data, which has been telling us. But I also want to mention one thing, and I'm glad it's being brought up by some of our systems that are here, is that there's only so much young people can do. Oftentimes we want to sit young people in town, tell them, don't do this, don't do that. Let me pour some skills into you. But we also forget that the systems that they're involved with also have to evolve and grow and skill build as well, so that they're more equipped and adapt to working with current young people, today's young people, who are maybe coming up with different challenges than from young people from the past. And we have to recognize that.
And I think something else that we need to consider is that we can't be the voice for the youth. We have to first start by listening to them, because as cool as we think we are, we can't understand half the stuff that they say, right? So,
right. And one of my pet peeves is when we say children are our future. And yes, that's certainly so. But the reality is that children are our present.
Right.
We need to tap into their creativity, their strength, and their resources, and their know-how. We were having a conversation about technology earlier. Children are our present, and we need to engage them in community building and social change, and we'll see a lot of positive things happen.
And you said the word a couple of times, and we know that one of the key strategies to keeping youth on track is mentorship. if you don't have someone that's pouring into you, then you're going to feel just left out. So I want to first ask this question to Mrs. Holt and then also to Mr. Warren. What is your office doing to provide that mentorship support directly or indirectly to our youth to keep them on track, not just those that are already in the system, but to prevent others from even going down that path?
It's interesting to hear what Mike was just saying, because I didn't realize Prodigy has been around for 20 years. And the component there of the mentorship and listening to Des, the mentorship part of it. And if you look at the Boys and Girls Club, the numbers that you were talking, that DJJ shows, the Girls and Boys Clubs, tremendous success rate, tremendous. These kids go on to college and then they come back. They feel that sense of ownership and accountability and also gratefulness, and they'll come back to the Boys and Girls Clubs and seek careers even there, and they'll go into their community and mentor. Mr. Warren is one of my partners, as is obviously the school system and Safe and Sound and Tampa Crossroads and the Hillsborough Association of Women Lawyers. But on May 1st, we are going to kick off something we've been talking about for his first term and for my seventh term. But we realized the importance of mentorship, and because we both really come into contact with kids when they're already in the system, it's an audience that we have, it's an audience we feel responsibility for. It doesn't change that Andrew has to be the prosecutor. It doesn't change that I have to defend the criminal charges and that I have to convince judges that this is a great way to go. Right. But working together with you in the Evening Reporting Center, so that hopefully we'll get to talk about that a little bit, we've all seen how having a mentor, how having someone one-on-one that you can rely on, independent of your family in some way, independent of your friends, someone that maybe gives you a little bit of extra support system, that is what's going to work. And so when we kick off our program, what we're going to try to do is within the first 24 hours that a child is appointed to our office, we're going to have them have an attorney ad litem, someone that will be looking at their holistic life from the standpoint not only as a lawyer, but also as a person who is going to have their best interest at heart. So at the same time that I'm worrying about the criminal charges, they will worry about the best interest of the child as a whole. And then for those children that we see that really need that real special one-on-one, you're going to help us, as our other people, to have mentors that will come in and assist these children. And going to the Evening Reporting Center the other day when we went to see what it was like and to watch, just seeing the way that the children engage with you and engage with others, the interest that they have, they really do have interest. And everybody thinks it's all technology or all, running around playing basketball. It was interesting to see that they were going to learn how to tie a tie, which I still can't do for my son. They want to know how to cook, the different things. And you and I know from a study that we did a couple of years ago that our youth are really there. You're right, Mike. They know what they need. They need something after school. They need an opportunity for a job. And what they also want is to feel safe in their community and feel safe in schools. So they're bright. They know what they want. So by doing that, it helped Andrew and I formulate this program. And I think what I'm most proud of is our willingness to take on not the youth that just barely need us, but the youth that really, really need us. And in other words, really hit that program hard. And then we both sit on the foundation for the Boys and Girls Club, and what that allowed me to do is engaging with Chief Ken Albano out in Temple Terrace and him bringing to my attention, you think of Temple Terrace, you think of it in a certain way. And that you didn't realize how many children needed help. And by bringing a Boys and Girls Club there and by bringing law enforcement in contact with children in a positive way, we've already seen the improvements in that area.
Got it. And I know, State Attorney Warren, you have talked mentorship. So I ask you the same question.
Yeah, mentorship is the key to giving kids, putting them on the path to success. And it's important to keep in mind that mentorship doesn't come in just one shape or one size. And there's no silver bullet to this, otherwise we would have fired it a long time ago. So we have mentorship in the form of Prodigy. We have mentorship with the Boys and Girls Clubs. We need mentorship through the schools, which is why we talk about partnerships with the schools. We have programs big and small. There's also the opportunity to introduce kids from certain neighborhoods, certain demographic groups, to parts of the community that they would never otherwise see, so that they can understand what success looks like outside of their neighborhood, so they can have a vision for what they can achieve beyond what they see on television or social media or in their immediate vicinity. So there's so many different ways that we can actually not just give kids the tools to succeed and provide the structure around them, but give them the hope and vision for something beyond what they see every day in their lives, to put them on that path towards being a productive, law-abiding, successful, contributing member of our society. That's what we want. And by the way, that keeps them out of the criminal justice system too.
I know, and we've mentioned it a couple of times, and it centers around making sure that we have a total continuum of care when it looks at mentorship. So we have programs like Prodigy that try to prevent the youth from getting into the system or going further in the system. If they do happen to make a mistake, and once they go to their detention hearing, if we can work with them, they're sent to the Evening Reporting Center, which is pre-adjudicatory. So before they go before the court and before the judge, we have an opportunity to try to make those small pivotal changes just by pouring into them. And then if it moves beyond that, then we have a new initiative that we're launching to make sure that we take these youth, no matter where they are, on a preventative approach. If they're currently active or if they're changing into another phase, we have to do that. But we still know that there's still a lot more to be done. And Commissioner, I actually, before I ask this to the Commissioner, if you could talk to a youth right now who has made a few mistakes and has unfortunately had to go through the juvenile justice system, what's one thing that you could tell them that would help them right now?
I think the first thing that I would start with is, I believe in you, because youth like that's a phrase that they tend to go a lot of their lives without hearing. And it's in those moments where they are at their most vulnerable, they feel like the world has turned its back on them. And that's when they need help the most. So if an adult would take that time to understand them as an equal rather than looking at them as someone beneath them, then it would really change their perspective around and make them think, okay, I'm not alone in the world, and that there are more things for me to do rather than where I'm at now.
I care about you, but we know that there's still lots to be done, right, Commissioner? And this series was created so that we could keep the information flowing, so that we can have good, honest dialogue, to talk about ways to reduce violence, to keep the community together, and to involve community and law enforcement together. What are you currently working on, or what do you think still needs to happen to reduce community violence, keep our youth on the right track, and just improve services all around?
I think the greatest thing is we need to make more jobs available for our youth. Summer jobs and full-time jobs for them.
Right.
Give them something to do. And when I was at the Evening Report Center the other day, and Judge Figueroa said to the youth, we all have made mistakes.
Right.
We all have made mistakes, but let's not make them again.
Right.
And so those youth that are coming through the program, they can go out and tell others, I made a mistake, but I don't want you to make a mistake. Let me try to help you. I know about a job. I mean, our youth have to keep a conversation going and tell other youth. And that's one of the things that, I hate to say, we talk about at church.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get in trouble. Okay, but if you do, tell the others so they don't make the same mistake.
Right.
And that's how we should keep it going with our youth, and to make sure every opportunity, even this one was out at the university, that was one of the things they were talking about, an apprenticeship program out in the university area, because it's all centered on jobs.
Right.
And if they can have the job, we can keep so many off the street,
Right.
and because they're idle, they have nothing to do.
Right.
Okay, and so that we're going to find them something to do. We're going to give them a job, let them earn an income, and give back to this community.
And all the while showing them, telling them, and pouring into them that we care.
That's right.
So I want to thank you guys. I think this conversation was very fruitful, and we need to continue this on. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanme you for having
I
us.
appreciate having me be here.
We'd like to extend a sincere thanks to all of the panelists for making this conversation a priority and taking the time to join us today. Criminal and juvenile justice reform remain a heightened concern in our legislative system, as well as reducing community violence, especially when it comes to our youth. It's important to have these conversations, not only to hear from all perspectives, but to work together on holistic strategies and improvements from a multifaceted approach. We will continue having these discussions with our community stakeholders and strive to bring you topics and information that is relevant and judicious. Be sure to join us next quarter for a panel conversation focusing on youth, schools, and our future. It's set to be a much needed and compelling discussion that you don't want to miss. Before we move along to Small Biz Equals Big Impact, I'd like to take a moment to shine a light on an organization that I happen to know quite a bit about. I'm talking about the National Youth Advocate Program, of which I serve as the program director for our office here in Tampa. If you're not familiar with NYAP, we provide opportunities and resources to youth and families through our innovative programs and services, and we strongly support our dedicated foster parents. Our primary focus is placed on preserving and unifying families and strengthening the communities they call home. Let's take a quick look at how we accomplish this. Hi, my name is Maxon Victor. I'm the program director for the National Youth Advocate Program as it resides here in Tampa, Florida. The National Youth Advocate Program, also known as NYAP, offers two outstanding services to our community. CANI, which stands for Constant and Never-Ending Improvement, and Enhanced Foster Care. Our CANI program works with opportunity youth. You may know them as at-risk youth, but here's why we consider it an opportunity to work with them. These youth who are ages 11 to 17, they come to us via referrals that come from various agencies because they've had problems with law enforcement. They may have behavioral issues or disorders, or just high and increased tension in their own home. We work with these youth to improve in four main domains: education, a purposeful life, community engagement, and family. Our services come through therapists and treatment coordinators who work with that youth to help them build a healthier future and a healthier relationship with family and the community. We do group therapy amongst other youth, as well as we do family therapy and coaching to support those families that are working with these youth. In CANI, we never give up on a child. It's our motto. And so we look at it as a great opportunity to impact and change and improve the lives of these young people. Now we take that same CANI model and we fuse it into our enhanced foster care. So if you've been interested in becoming a foster care parent, what we do outside of just trying to recruit you and license you, we bring these CANI services to help support you for anywhere from 6 to 7 months at the least. So that way we are working with you just like a bio family to help and upgrade that experience for you and that youth. Because our objective is to create a brighter future for these young people. And we make sure to do that by giving you all the support if you're interested in becoming a foster parent. We're proud to say that we give the best daily rates if you choose to take on a youth, and we provide the best support in sustaining a healthy home with that youth. And with that being said, we're more than glad to be here in the Hillsborough County community, as well as serving communities that are in Pinellas and Pasco. If you're interested in being a part of what we do, we're easy to find. For more information on NYAP or how you can be involved, visit nyap.org. Now for the last portion of our gathering, Small Biz Equals Big Impact. For today's feature, we're showing love to a community restaurant that many of you probably know, a restaurant that shows so much love back to this community. We're talking about our friends at the Jerk Hut. This local Jamaican establishment has been a vested partner in the university area for over 25 years, proudly giving back in a variety of ways. Sit back and prepare for your mouth to water as we find out more.
My name is Andrew Ashmead. I'm the owner of the Jerk Hut restaurants here in Tampa. And I like to say that our restaurant is a restaurant built by the community for the community. We started in 1993 in a tiny little space over on Fletcher Avenue, and then we moved around a bit. And just recently, we moved into this amazing space on Fowler Avenue, right next to the Crossover Church. So we're very excited about our new space. Unfortunately, that move was just before COVID happened. So we've been blessed because we had such a great system set up for a takeout that our takeout business actually blew up. So that's one good blessing that came from that. Unfortunately, now we're trying to get our dining room back open. So we're trying to see if we can rehire and get some staff in here, which is our biggest challenge at the moment. But like I said, Jerk Hut, we've always been for the community. I went to USF, and we've supported just about every single community group or social group that they have there, because they love the idea of getting hot food donated instead of just pizza and sandwiches. So we've always been their number one choice. We work a lot with the Caribbean Cultural Exchange. We work a lot with Can Do. We work a lot with all of the community organizations around here. The Crossover Church, we help them to supply food. We've done some stuff with Cell, where we've given out hundreds of meals during the pandemic. We have done events with the University Area CDC. Our restaurant is in a great area where everything seems to be taking off right now. There's a lot of new businesses coming in. There's a lot of excitement building with the mall and all the changes that are happening around here. And we're in here, we're in it for the long haul. So very exciting times now for Fowler Avenue. And like I said, we've been around, we've been in this area for almost 30 years. So we're excited to see what happens in here. Our restaurant, we do entertainment, and the biggest draw for our restaurant is that we do authentic handmade food. So most of what we can make here from scratch, hey, if we can make it better than we can buy it and shake it out of a box, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make fresh food here. You come in here, we have Jamaican patties, and guess what? Even those, as hard as they are to make, we make them ourselves. Our sauces, our mac and cheese, our seasonings, all of those things that we can make from scratch, we make from scratch here. You gotta come try us out. We are the gem in Tampa. You can actually take a trip to Jamaica without the TSA or the lines or customs right here in Tampa. Just come right here. Walk in, we got every single thing for you. All those nice things that you enjoyed on vacation or all those things that you saw on TV that you're dreaming about trying. Hey, we have it right here at Jerkut, a little piece of Jamaica right on Fowler Avenue. We bring Jamaica to you. Yeah, man.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really hungry all of a sudden. And I can testify firsthand that they have some of the best Jamaican cuisine in the Tampa Bay area. If you're looking for a fun, unique way to feed your crowd, the Fowler Avenue Jerk Hut menu can be found at jerkhut.com. And if you know of a small business who's making a big impact in the Uptown University area, we'd love to feature them during an upcoming gathering. Simply email their information to bluckie@uacdc.org for consideration. All right, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. It has been my pleasure to host the second quarter Virtual Partners Coalition gathering of 2021. Before you take off, I'd like to quickly remind you of a few upcoming events and initiatives from UACDC and our partners, details for all of which can be found on uacdc.org. There's free custodial maintenance training coming up on April 27th and 28th, offered through UACDC's Investment Workforce Program. UACDC's 2021 Give Day is coming up on Tuesday, May 4th, and all funds raised will go towards the Block by Block program. The next Be the Difference event will be on Saturday, May 8th at Harvest Hope Park, featuring free snack packs, children's books, and a hot breakfast. There are free cooking classes for youth and adults at Harvest Hope Park, where Chef Dahlia incorporates fresh ingredients right from the Harvest Hope Community Garden. Certified nursing assistant scholarships are currently being offered for university area residents to attend classes at 3 local institutions. Hillsborough County and the City of Tampa are administering an emergency rental assistance program for residents financially impacted by COVID-19. The Kinship Free Market shares free groceries with those in need every Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Harvest Hope Park. There will be a safely orchestrated Cinco de Mayo celebration on May 5th from 5 to 7 p.m. at University Area Community Park, and all area residents are invited to attend. The next round of Wellness U will be for men only and runs from May 27th to July 1st. And lastly, I invite you to save the date of Thursday, July 22nd for our third Partners Coalition gathering of 2021. We're really hopeful that we will be able to safely meet in person for that gathering. But regardless of the circumstances, we will continue moving this group forward and keep you engaged any way we can. Until then, stay safe, stay focused, and make a difference. Peace.